Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 200. Yeah, can you believe it? 200 of the Terminal City FC podcast, part of the Area 51 Sports Network. Josh Ray joined alongside Nathan Dirk, as per usual, talking all things football, and got a lot to talk about this week, particularly with the Vancouver Whitecaps coming off two dominating wins at BC Place and two performances that were well done. They look re-energized, refreshed after the break. But first, let's start with the weekend. Biggest win in Vancouver Whitecaps MLS era history. Scored the touchdown plus the extra point against league-leading Philadelphia Union. Now, in our bonus episode with Ross Smith, I said maybe expect some fireworks, some goals, but not like this.
No, didn't expect this at all. Not only the Whitecaps' biggest win in their MLS era, it ties for the biggest win in MLS. I think there's been 8 or 9 teams throughout MLS's history that have had a 7-goal win, a 7-0 win. No one's done 8. So,
and what's crazy is that it's not like Philadelphia just if you don't watch MLS, you didn't follow MLS, you'd have thought Philadelphia was at the bottom of the league. No, they're still leading in the Supporters' Shield race, and the Whitecaps made them look like a League One BC team or a Sunday League team or whatever. Just from the get-go, the Whitecaps were pressing. They were all over the place. Philadelphia looked very overwhelmed by the press the Whitecaps had. I feel like they were expecting it, but not to this extent. And Philadelphia aren't a pressing team themselves. They rely on the counterattack.
No.
But even those, they barely got out of their own half.
I think we have to post a big caveat on this in that this is not the Philadelphia Union starting 11 that normally we would expect. There was 5 big changes in this lineup. The two of the biggest one, Makiana, suspended, who's been one of their best center backs throughout this entire season. He was suspended due to red card in the previous match. And Bedoya, who is a phenomenal player, but was played out of position in order to make up the numbers. And, well, I think everyone saw what Ali Ahmed was able to do with him. Last game absolutely cooked him time and time again, to the point that Bedoya actually put out a public apology on social media for his personal performance.
Yeah, and Andre Blake, the Philadelphia Union goalkeeper, did not play in the game due to his hamstring problem. So Rick, the 19-year-old goalkeeper, the backup, was in goal. And you can't really blame the kid for the goals. Plus, penalties are 50-50 anyway.
Penalties are 80-20.
Yeah. And Baribo started on the bench. So did Kai Wagner, mainly because Philadelphia had their U.S. Open Cup, which they lost to Nashville last night.
Yeah.
And Milan Olowski, given the history he had at BC Place with San Diego, has started up front, but this time looked invisible.
I do wonder if Bradley Carnell looks back at this match and just wonders if tactically he got it right. Because even when we say that Olowski played up front, he was playing beside Ura.
The 2-striker system.
2 strikers with Olowski sitting really deep. I mean, think of Jonathan David when he plays for Canada with Kyle Laird, where Kyle Laird's up top, basically a poacher 9, and at times David is almost sitting in the midfield. That was Olowski.
Yeah, and with San Diego,
he was not being used in a position to score. He was being used in a position to create, and I don't know if that's the best use of his particular skill set.
Yeah, and with San Diego, Olowski was up front, and the creator behind him, Andres Dreyer, and that's what made them tick. And
Dreyer was phenomenal.
Dreyer's an MVP.
Dreyer
candidate.
was the man of the match in that San Diego game. Olowski was just the recipient.
Yeah, but for the Whitecaps, just go right from opening kickoff. Matias Laborda, he's been trying to do this for so many games recently. Jumping header, and then scores from courtesy of Sebastian Berhalter's corner kick. And Ali Ahmed, that left side, the momentum he had with Canada in those friendlies did not slow down.
No.
He turned Bedoya like he left him in the dust. He was like Sonic, got to go fast. When every time he had the ball, like run, Forrest, run. It's run, alley, run. He just keeps running and running and running and going. Could have had a goal or two himself, but second goal, he sets up Emmanuel Sabi, who was at the right place at the right time.
Do we have to start having a contract as to whether Ali Ahmed is still the Whitecap come the end of the season?
I feel like that's kind of been on the wall. Not even just this season, but over the past year or so, given that he's been constantly called up for Canada and pressing at the national level.
Yeah.
There are eyes on him already. I think last year there were reports out of Belgium that they were interested
and
in
there
him.
was also reports this summer out of Germany, but that got quashed very, very quickly as well. The reason I ask is, for as good as he is, Ahmed is also quite a cheap option for teams. His contract's done at the end of this year. Whitecaps have the club option, I believe, for one more. I believe it hasn't. I don't believe that he's on the year where that's been enacted, so I think he still has that one. So it means that the Whitecaps could enact that 1 year and still get a transfer fee.
Yeah.
But
what they did with Derek Cornelius.
Yeah, exactly, right? I feel if Ahmed is ever going to try and make that move, now is the best time for the player. And Axel Schuster has said time and time again that if the player wants to leave, or if it's the right time for the player, the team will help make that happen. So I think that this could happen and be very, let's call it a healthy departure.
Yeah,
right?
and
because Ahmed is going to be welcomed back with open arms at any stage of his career if he so chooses, right?
Right.
The selfish side of me wants him to stay. Obviously,
I want him to sign a brand new
contract that's for 10 years and 5 years, and he doesn't go. The pragmatic side of me wants him to go. I want to go see him shine elsewhere.
Shine in Europe.
Because I think he's ready. I think he's more than ready to do it.
Yeah, and the Whitecaps at this rate are going to get a good fee for him in the winter. But for now, enjoy him while you can is what I'm going to say. Because I think Saturday was possibly Ali Ahmed's best game as a Whitecap. We see flashes of his Canada form as a Whitecap, but it was he just brought his Canada form to the Whitecaps. And believe it or not, it was Thomas Muller's birthday on Saturday. Got a hat trick. What a birthday gift.
Yeah.
36 years old, still played like he's 26. Sure, he's in MLS, but still. 2 penalties scored, both from the same side, too. Same spot.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Then in the second half, Giuseppe Bovalina, who hasn't got a lot of minutes this season, his header finds Muller, and Muller just heads in the hat trick.
I mean, guy knows where to be. We talk about the intelligence of him as a player. It's not only in making other people look better. I mean, we can talk about that pass that he made to Sabi for Sabi's second goal. I mean, the goal was, it was beautiful to begin with, but that pass, that kind of that no look outside of the boot pass to the right, everything about that was really nice. But he pops up in moments to get his own as well. And I think that third goal was a very good reminder of that, he can be that guy that's the furthest forward. He is that guy that can put it in the net.
Yeah, we've seen it throughout his storied career, and that's why he was a world-class player, or even in some ways still is a world-class player, because he's so smart. He knows where to be. He's called the Raumdeuter for a reason. Just on his third goal, he knew where to be.
Yeah.
On the Sabi second goal, he knew where Sabi was, and Sabi scored a beautiful goal, which we got a good vantage point of because the press box is behind the goal.
For now, yeah. Ryan Alumi just signs his first ever professional contract. No more short-term contracts for this kid. Fully professional contract. Comes on with I think he came on with about 15 minutes or so. I think
something like that.
Yeah, his family in attendance.
Yep.
First homegrown player from the Whitecaps to score a goal in his debut.
Yeah,
and from my hometown, St. Albert, Alberta.
Which I didn't even know, and then I told you in the press box.
I know, I didn't realize either.
Out of all places, he's from St. Albert, Alberta. And hey, the Whitecaps had a wonder kid not too long ago, from Edmonton. So maybe Olemi's following in that guy's footsteps.
That's true, right?
And yeah, just a well-taken header too from the cross, and good that he scored in front of his family, who were in the stands. Apparently, they were in tears after he scored.
There was actually a pretty good shot on the broadcast of his family in attendance after he scored. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, and just overall, like a really good game for the Whitecaps. So Philadelphia did score in that first half when it was 3-0, but Alan Chapman went to the monitor, had a quick check, and it was off. Olski was offside.
So, taking a look at the Whitecaps now as to where they stand in MLS, they're still third in the West.
Yep.
Minnesota had won their game that day as well, but they are in sixth in the Supporters' Shield race, only 5 points behind the Philadelphia Union. But of those 5 teams that are ahead of them, the Whitecaps have 2 games in hand on all of them.
Yep.
Those 2 games in hand, if they go in the Whitecaps' favor, puts the Whitecaps in first with a point to spare.
Also, Inter Miami had 4 games in hand, and they beat Seattle yesterday.
Yeah. Inter Miami still has 3 games in hand off everyone else. If they win their 3 games in hand, they would actually be tied with the Whitecaps if the Whitecaps won there too. So I don't know if we have ever been this late in an MLS season, 27, 28, 30 games in, and you still have, let's say, 7 teams in the Supporters' Shield race.
Yeah. I mean, the Apple TV guy has been calling it the best Supporters' Shield race ever, and that's a pretty accurate description, because in the years past, by this time we already know the winner. Like last year, Inter Miami ran away with it.
Yeah, or if you don't know the winner, it's between 2 or 3.
1 or 2 teams, or 3.
Yeah.
But 6 or 7 is, I think, this is the first time that's happened, because the race is very, 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 very tight. But, for the Whitecaps to put on that type of performance on Saturday showed, we're going to be a playoff team. They clinched the playoff spot, but we're here to do some damage. We're here to be one of the best teams, and we're here to go all the way.
Here's the thing with the Whitecaps, though. With where they are in the season so far, they have the best goals against record in the entire league. They're one of the top for goals for. They have the best goal difference at 23.
Yep, and they're one of the lowest in goals conceded, too.
They are the lowest in goals against.
No, it was Philadelphia, apparently. They were the lowest. Whitecaps were second.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia gave up 7.
Yeah. I mean, games like that, obviously, they skew stats. That's why you have to look kind of over the entirety of the season. I would have thought that Philly would just have to forget this game. There's nothing you can really learn from it. It was a bit of a patchwork lineup, starting 11 for them anyway. But you alluded to the point earlier where I think it did still affect them. They spent so much time planning for Tuesday and the U.S. Open Cup against Nashville. The weekend became an afterthought, but unfortunately, because of the outcome of that game against the Whitecaps, I think it affected them on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I believe it was a 3-1 loss in Nashville, and I was thinking, oh, wow, the Whitecaps really did break them. And, Bradley Carnell, I think he really hates BC Place at this point, because his final game as a St. Louis manager was there, and then his team gets
he got sacked, didn't he?
Yeah, he got sacked like a few days after that game last year, and then 7-0 loss with Philadelphia. It was just a off night for Philadelphia around, and we should also mention the back line, especially Bilal Halbouni. Didn't have the best previous 2 games, but this game much, much, much improved. using his size to get around the attackers, was more calm with his passes, less erratic with the ball, and more calm this time.
I don't think anyone should be surprised about this. He needed the consistency of having a number of games back to back in order to build up that match intelligence. I think he's still going to grow. I think he's not even where he could be. But yes, it was a much better game for him. And we can even talk about him in the Canadian Championship game, which he started and did very well too.
Yeah, and Berhalter looked a lot better.
Yes.
Back. And we saw the creativity that he has had all season, despite him being more deeper.
Yeah. Which is, like I said last week, is a position that when Berhalter came to the Whitecaps, that was the position that we had seen him in. And then he became that guy that kind of floated around and, kind of played everywhere, almost like Tottenham's Archie Gray. He knows where he is now. He can play the 6, he can play the 8, and he can do both just fine.
Yeah, and Yohei Takaoka didn't have much to do. I don't think he made a save until the second half, and that shot was right at him from distance. Yeah. But it's significant because the national team manager for Japan, Hajime Moriyasu, was apparently at the game on Saturday to scout Yohei Takaoka. So there's the possibility that Takaoka could be called up for the Japanese national team in the near future. I don't know why he wasn't called up in the last window because, especially, Japan was mostly playing their B team, and the games were in America.
Japan's goalkeepers right now, if I remember, they have one who plays with Parma in Serie A in Italy, and another one of their goalkeepers actually is from the J League. You have to think that Takioka is at least comparable to those. I think a lot of the reason why Takioka might be, two reasons. One, age.
Yeah.
Has the national team passed him by, even though he is playing very, very well?
Well, he's like 28, so he's in his prime.
Yeah. Well, I think so too. And the one thing with goalkeepers is they continue to get better as they play, because being a goalkeeper, there's such a cerebral aspect to it, and it's not, and you're working in spurts, right? You don't have to you're not running like a wing back or anything like that.
Yeah, and goalkeepers tend to peak in their early to mid 30s.
Yeah. The other thing is it depends on how Japan wants to play. Are they going to get the best out of Takioka's skill set with a guy who loves the ball at the feet? If that's not how Japan wants to play, then you can understand how they might go with other goalkeepers. I'm happy that he is being looked at. We'll have to wait and see if he gets.
It's possible because Japan play a very free-flowing, quick, direct attacking style of football. And I'm just looking at Japan's goalkeepers, like currently, they're all younger than him. The guy that plays for Parma, Zion Suzuki, 23. And then the other two, Kiseki Osako, plays for Sanfrecce Hiroshima, and then the other one, Tomoki Hayakawa, Kashima Antlers, both 26.
Yeah.
Takaoka is like 28.
Suzuki, 29. I know, was the goalkeeper during the last window.
He was. He was the starter.
Yeah. So
I assume he's a guy that's, with high potential. I mean, he's played for Parma for a reason. Already has 19 caps. But yeah, it's good to know that Takaoka is being scouted, at least. And part of the reason why he joined the Whitecaps and to play in MLS was because playing abroad gives you better PR as a Japanese player for national team hopes.
A lot of countries it does that too, especially when you're looking at leagues around the world and you compare them to your domestic league. I think that's I think it is changing in Japan. I think
most of their team are playing abroad. I'm just looking at their roster.
Also, I mean, you look at the J League, and the J League is a very, very good, a very, very competitive league. The thing is mentality shift always takes longer. So I think you need to get people to realize that no, we have a player pool in Japan that can make this team. Obviously, it's going to become a mix. Think of like the American national team where you end up getting a mix, or the Canadian national team.
They have a mix,
right? Japan's at that point right now too. I would say.
Yeah, I'm just their roster. Most of them have players playing abroad, but like 6 or 7 are J League players from the last.
That's a good mix. That's a good mix.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if the next window Takaoka gets a call up.
Yeah. Also, if you have a national team manager like a Jesse Marsh, where you can now take those domestic players and help them find careers outside of the country at maybe higher level leagues, I mean that only benefits your national team as well.
I assume, maybe Hajime Moriyasu is kind of the same.
Yeah,
the guy really goes everywhere to scout players, so
he had just been in Mexico as well. I know that before that, and I saw somewhere he had done kind of a bit of a tour, and with Vancouver, I think, being the last stop.
Yeah, but for the Whitecaps as a whole, did a good job of helping Takaoka have a quiet night.
Yeah,
especially with Falbuni and Blackman in front of him. Ocampo looked really dangerous on the right flank. Tias Laborda looked also good on the left flank. Just everything was clicking in that game against the Philadelphia Union. And yeah, I mean, Philadelphia just looked shell-shocked from minute 1 and had no answer. So that game helped the Whitecaps clinch a playoff spot in style, and Thomas Muller 3 goals and an assist on his 36th birthday. But the Whitecaps had another business to take care of last night. 4-0 win over Forge in their second leg of the Canadian Championship semifinal. Heading into this game, we knew it wasn't going to be easy given Forge's caliber in the CPL as the dynasty. But from minute 1, it was all Whitecaps, dominance, possession. Forge in the CPL really go down that much, and they're a team that likes to have the ball too, but they just really couldn't adapt to the speed and the press that the Whitecaps had.
There were some interesting moments when I saw the lineup. One was Jason Ngannou playing higher up, right behind the striker. So he was almost occupying that number 10 role. I gotta say, that is one of the best games I've seen from Jason Ngannou, especially that first 45.
Yeah, and he scored a goal too.
He did. And he had 2 very good quality chances before that goal.
I mean, the guy, he's like an 8, but he can also play as a 10 if needed, given what we saw last night.
We've also seen him play on the wing as well.
Yeah, and he can shoot. He just doesn't do it as often as people like.
He had a lot of time on the ball when he took the shot. He took it on his left foot. It was a very good shot. I don't know if I saw the highlight well, but my daughter was watching the game with me. Obviously, I was at home. I couldn't go to the game. I was on parent duty. But she was like, did he shoot that ball right between the defender's legs? And I was like, it kind of looked that way.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a pinpoint shot through the defender, inside of the post, out beyond the outstretch of the goalkeeper. It was just well done. I thought Ngannou was really, really good. He was really, really good at distributing the ball as well, creating chances. Really, really nice to see. Very, very good. The other interesting thing was in getting both Jaden Nelson and Ali Ahmed on the pitch together. Obviously, it moves Ahmed over to the right. Nothing wrong with the game. I thought both played well.
Both used their strength to their best.
But I will say the game did show to me that Ahmed is better on the left when he can cut inside.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing that. He did a little bit last night, but when he's on the left, he cuts in more. Jaden Nelson cut in quite a bit. He was all over the place. Like, he really wanted a goal last night.
Jaden Nelson, whenever we see him, like, he is so fast down the left, and then he loves hugging that byline. He hugs that byline to come in, and then he's looking for everyone, right? Which I like, because at the beginning of the season, forget his first game, which was just great, but he would come in, cut through the byline, get inside the 18-yard box, and then hesitate. It was like, oh, what's next? He's answered that question. He now knows that he has these options, right? And he's looking around for the second man, the trailing man. He's looking for his own opportunities, and I think it's really, really nice to see.
Last few games, been driving to the goal, and
he's hungry.
His goal came thanks to Ryan Alomi's pass, and he just a tap in, and Alomi again goal and assist in his first 2 games, both off the bench. Not bad for the kid who turns 18 today.
You know what it is, though? I was watching Lumi when he's off the ball and how he positions himself.
Yeah.
This is, and you know how well he did with the second team in MLS Next Pro. Like, I think he was top 10 in the league for goals. With
near the
and
top, I believe.
Pierre was up there as well. But Illumi does not play like a teenager. He plays like someone that's in his mid-20s. Like, he is smart.
Yeah, but from first 2 games, seeing him, like, he anticipates where to be, and then with the ball, he isn't hesitant. He just makes use of his agility, finds the right player around him, or takes a shot on net.
You know what it is? He's one of those guys that, for as young as he is, when his body catches up to his brain, he's going to be a very, very good player. He is a great player right now, but he's a very young player, and he's still growing mentally and physically. Let's be honest. Like, he
knows how to really get in behind the defenders too, which I've been quite impressed with. And happy birthday to him. He's got a really bright future.
His birthday too.
Yeah, today's his birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
18 years old. Not bad for a guy who was signed to a pro contract last week. And
I know, right?
What a first week in MLS for him.
I mean, you got to capitalize on the chances you're given. He's doing it.
Yeah, and last night's game, unfortunately, Tristan Blackman had scored the first goal. Near the end of the game, he goes down awkwardly, and it looks like it is confirmed it is a knee injury. He was down for quite a bit. Looked very upset when he had to be taking down the tunnel. Jesper Sorensen looked very upset. So did the players. And this team can't have nice things. This team is cursed. I don't know what kind of I don't know, bad karma this team did. Maybe it's
his brother knows the Whitecaps.
Yeah, I don't know who's haunting this team, but the injuries are just been brutal this year, despite how great this year has been. And just Blackman, the best center back right now that's healthy, is down, and just given from the injury we saw last night, not look good. It looks serious. Hopefully, it isn't as serious as it looked. But right now, only Halbuni and Laborda are the healthy center backs, as Shonlo and Pupe are still not fit.
Yeah. That it's horrible to think that way, especially when you are right. That is how bad it is right now. Now, Pupe could be back soon. Don't expect him back for this weekend.
He's running laps with Brian White, so
but he's not. I don't think is he in full training yet? I don't believe he is.
Last I checked, he was running laps.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was training with the. Sean Lowe was in the gym, so I think he's still.
Last I saw Sean Lowe, they're expecting it still could be a good 3 weeks, but right now it's the weight on Pupe. The other thing is you got to remember is that Pupe hasn't played with the Whitecaps yet, so you can't expect him to just jump into a role like that and hit the ground running. You want him to be there and be ready to go, but right now you're going to have to rely on Halbuni and Laborda. Halbuni, who's getting a great run in right now, but did not play for the majority of the season, and Laborda, who we know can play center back, but has been used on the right or the left this entire season. So it is unbelievably patchwork back there right now. And for all the good work that the Whitecaps have done, this is worrying. And it's not like the front office has been sleeping on this. They went out and they got defensive reinforcement. It just sucked that both of those defensive reinforcements then get injured.
Yeah, and there's also Mark O'Neill, who was signed from the second team to a pro contract, but he's still raw.
Yeah, very raw.
And
he might find some time, though. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, sooner than expected. And just this is such a blow to like title hopes, because Blackman's been one of the best defenders in MLS this season, an all-star. It's just devastating, and it's very worrying. And best case scenario he isn't out long, but given from how painful that looked, I'm still worried. that he's out longer.
It's one of those things where you don't know until you actually take a look at it. He could go, he could get a scan. We find out it's not as bad as it is. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2 weeks, or it's a knee, and you end up with something like what Ryan Gauld has been facing.
That's what I was thinking.
Like a year, right? Right now, the simple answer to any question is we don't know. And I don't think anyone in the Whitecaps knows until they actually get,
Yeah, probably going to evaluate him today or tomorrow. I just hope this is not another Ryan Gauld situation where he's out way longer.
My guess is we're not going to have. I mean, we might get a bit of an answer. Match day -1. But you also got to remember the Whitecaps are going to be heading out on the road here fairly soon to face Sporting KC, I believe.
Yeah, and also speaking of injuries, Ryan Gauld is fully training, cleared for no contact, so his return seems imminent. Cleared for contact, but I don't think he'll play this weekend.
No,
I think they want to get him a week or two with like clear contact training.
I would agree with that.
So yeah, Whitecaps 4-0 win last night. Sebastian Berhalter should also mention scored a penalty, and funny because a few months ago we were thinking maybe Berhalter should take penalties because he knows how to smash one into the net.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So Whitecaps back in the Canadian Championship final again, October 1st to face either Vancouver FC or Atletico Ottawa. Their second leg is tomorrow. Vancouver up 3-1 in that tie. So East Coast, West Coast, or an all Lower Mainland derby.
That's going to be a very difficult game for Vancouver. Yes, they're up 2 in that tie right now, but the game is in Ottawa.
Yep.
And Ottawa, I mean, we talk about how good Forge is. Forge has lost only
Ottawa's
2 games in the CPL this year. Same with Ottawa. Ottawa's only lost 2 games this year.
Yeah, and we'll see how that game goes. So Whitecaps are going to be busy, starting with Sporting Kansas City this weekend from Children's Mercy Park. Like these teams last two saw each other in late July. Whitecaps won 3-0 at BC Place. Sporting Kansas City have been pretty poor this season. They're 13th in the West.
Yeah,
7-6-17 is their record. 27 points, just 2 points above St. Louis. And just looking here, they've been lost their last 2 games.
They've lost 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, lost 2-1 last weekend to RSL. Just Sporting Kansas City, used to be one of the better teams in MLS, but last few years just been rough.
Right now. Before we move on, one last thing I want to say about the Vancouver Whitecaps. I said at the beginning of the season, I wanted to see this team break the 50-point mark.
Yep.
They have 52 points. They did it. They got games in hand still to go. The record for the Whitecaps in the MLS era is 54 points.
53 from 2015.
Okay, sorry.
A win on the weekend surpasses that.
There you go.
Yeah, and Sporting Kansas City. They're a very good team at home usually. I'm not sure about this year. Dejan Joveljic, for example, has kind of lit up the Whitecaps when he was with the Galaxy. Daniel Shalhoub has been dangerous too. So we'll see what Sporting Kansas City has in store. So mention that they have Canadian international Zorhan Basson.
There we go.
So that's the Whitecaps. Sporting Kansas City this Saturday. Portland at home next Wednesday. So the other Vancouver team lost 7-0 to balance things out.
Oh, this was a tough match to watch. Again, you're going up against AFC Toronto, best team in the league. You're in Toronto, playing in their stadium, but 7-0 is the worst loss so far in the young NSL's history.
Yeah. Just not a good day at the office. McCaslin may want a couple back, but if it weren't for her, it would have been like 15-0.
I would say there's maybe 2 she might want back, but in my mind, she was still the best Rise player on the pitch that game. But yeah, I think you're right. It felt like it could have been 15
or 20.
I think it could have been 7 at the half if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, just Toronto were all over them, and they literally had no answer to the Rise.
And we said the same thing when it came to Philadelphia. There's not a lot to learn about this game. There's not a lot to learn about this game for the Rise. You have
Just a bad day.
You have to chalk it up to a bad day and move on. And I mean, it's disheartening that an 8-game undefeated streak ends in this fashion.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? Realize that a 1-0 loss means the same on the table as a 7-0 loss. Remember what you did in the 8 games prior to this and try to get back to that as soon as you can.
Yeah.
I think we need to say, I think the NLS regular season, I think Toronto has clinched that. There's not a trophy or anything yet for regular season.
Probably next year or the year or two.
I think it might be something that gets added at a later date. Think of the CPL.
Like the CPL did.
They didn't have it at the beginning, right? It was something that was added later on. But again, with only 6 teams, it's something that might come later on.
Especially that since they're adding a second, possibly an 8th. Years. So, just overall, not a good day in Toronto. But they have one last game for the regular season at home against Halifax Tides this Saturday.
Yes. I will be at that game. Hopefully, they get back to winning ways right away. Obviously, Halifax Tide has probably had the more trying season out of any team in MLS. They have kind of pulled themselves out a little bit, but it's
especially
still
with the coaching change.
On top of it, yes, the goalkeeper change. That's the big thing. Aaron Miller has basically now retired, out for the season. At the age that he's at,
sucks to end for her career. Aaron McLeod.
That's the end. So, and another St. Albert person.
Yeah, it's a small world. St. Albert is a sports town. I'm just looking here. That game is at it's at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and the playoffs start in I believe early October, and there's including this week. There's 6 more weeks left of the season as a whole. And I'm just also after this game they go to Halifax, and that's the last game of the regular season. So playoffs begin late September, early October. And Rockies will hope to look for home field advantage.
There we go.
So let's move over to Europe. I don't know what it is with Brentford, especially Brentford away for Chelsea, but
I can say the same thing.
I think this goes for a lot of like top 6 teams. Brentford away has always been tough, and I think I admit I underestimated Brentford. Because they seem to, just get draws when they play Brentford away, or even Brentford at home. It's 2-2 draw in West London. Chelsea, all that possession. Okay, I thought, okay, sure. You're attacking, you're pressing, but they weren't doing anything with it. Not a single shot on target until like late in the half, I believe. Just passing the ball around, no creativity other than Pedro Neto. And to make things worse, Brentford go up 1-0, 35 minutes in. Another transition goal that was similar to the Josh King disallowed goal for Fulham. Kevin Shade beats Robert Sanchez. Maybe he could have done better there, but the defense was way too high. Couldn't get back in time. Second half, they bring on Cole Palmer, bring on Mark Cucurella, they bring on Reece James. Much, much better. Better in possession, better offensively in the final third. Brentford were playing 10 at the back, but it felt like a Chelsea goal was coming. And it comes courtesy of Cole Palmer, who took a well-placed shot in the corner. His first open play goal in the Premier League since January, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
But that is his first open play goal this January. But could have had a second one if it weren't for the Brentford goalkeeper, Kelleher. Tried to go for the same corner, but Kelleher saw it all the way. And then Moises Caicedo would have blasted in the 85th minute. Gets Chelsea the league, but they couldn't hang on. 3rd minute of stoppage time. Poor defending on this long throw in from Brentford. Fabio Carvalho gets behind everybody, gets behind Garnacho, and sneaks it past Robert Sanchez. The entire Chelsea team were looking one way, forgot about Carvalho. Sure, you could argue Garnacho lost his man, but everybody lost him there. Everybody was at fault there. Sucks because the elation from the Caicedo goal was gone within 7-8 minutes, and frustrating draw. Could have been 3 points instead of 1. But overall, just need to get better starting games. Need to be more killer with that possession, especially early. And good on Maresca for excuse me, making changes right at halftime. I get he was prioritizing Bayern Munich, but still, Jamie Gittins, poor, needs work, has the speed, but is afraid to take on defenders. Need to see less of that hesitation. Hato look fine, but not really. His progressive passes still need to work. Both still need to adapt to the Premier League. I thought Pedro Neto was the best Chelsea player on the pitch as he was constantly running up and down the right wing, taking on defenders, trying to find the head of Joao Pedro, who, by the way, got another goal contribution by assisting Cole Palmer. A goal contribution a game. This guy still delivered, even though he didn't have his best game. So frustrating, but Bayern Munich today in the Champions League from the Allianz Arena to face Diaz, Kane, Olise, Nicholas Jackson, and so many others. That's at noon, about an hour and 45 minutes from now. And then it's off to Old Trafford, face Man United. Haven't won there since 2013. Garnacho's return to Old Trafford. It'd be really funny if he scores there against Man United. And Garnacho looked good with the cutbacks. Could have had the game-winning assist if Cole Palmer kept his shot down. So there's something there. And then after that, back at home to face Lincoln City in the EFL Cup. The big news for Chelsea was 74 charges by the FA over agent fees or something like that from 2019 to 2022. Believe it or not, the club reported it themselves. So this was all on the Roman Abramovich regime. And Matt Law, the Guardian's reporting that Chelsea would get a fine, possibly 6 to 8 million, similar to that UEFA fine and nothing more. So it's really
what this
nothing
is?
burger.
This is Chelsea just with the new regime, still looking at all the old tax forms that are in boxes in the back of the closet.
Yeah, so
forgot about that.
It's really a nothing burger. And the focus is on Bayern Munich today. People are underestimating Chelsea again, but when Chelsea get underestimated, they really shine. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win against Bayern Munich today. So Tottenham, good day against West Ham at the London Stadium in Kudus' return there.
Yeah, and definitely they let him know that it was his return. He definitely got his share of the boos whenever he touched the ball. But it was just textbook from Tottenham. Very simple, 3-0 win. They should have had 4, but a goal was disallowed for
something.
Who knows? Mickey Van de Ven pushed into a player and they disallowed it. They ignored the fact that Van de Ven was pushed by the goalkeeper. Even the commentators were trying to figure out exactly what had happened with this one. But Sarr scores later on off another corner. Corner is definitely working right now for Spurs, but also it seems to be the Achilles heel of West Ham. They've had, I think, more corner goals against them than any other team in Premier League, I think, right now so far in this very young season. Bergvall gets up high in between 2 defenders as he heads the ball in for his first with Spurs. And then he assists later on a, I don't even know what you want to call it, 3rd or 4th phase of a corner kick for Mickey Van de Ven.
Yeah.
Man of the match performance from Bergvall. Dominant all round. Kudus continues to shine. Xavi Simons, his first game. Impressive.
2 players I really wanted at Chelsea, but doing well at Tottenham.
Good game. 3rd place right now. Basically tied for 2nd with a few other teams. It's looking good.
Well, West Ham
So
looked terrible.
so far
Also,
it's
but
very, very
credit
happy.
Tottenham anyway.
Well, we can talk about Graham Potter later on, but this is a manager that I think if you were a manager without a job, there's a few people looking at it right now. Yesterday, back in the Champions League for the first time in a while. First game up against Villarreal. Kind of felt a little bit like that Brentford match. This wasn't it wasn't the Tottenham that we were expecting. It was a very, very good defensive class from Tottenham. I think they did very good defensively, but going forward, there wasn't a lot. Again, Bergvall, man of the match. The one time they did go very early in the game, very, very good at throwing across into the ball, saved by Junior, but under absolutely no pressure at all. He somehow spills the ball and puts it into his own net for the own goal.
Hey, you could take all the goals you can get.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. It still counts. It's a good 3 points. It wasn't a good game to watch, but it is their first game back in the championship. Villarreal is a very difficult team. Buchanan got the start. Obviously,
Oluwaseyi off the bench too.
Didn't really hear a lot from Buchanan or Oluwaseyi. Pepe was definitely the danger man, I think we could say. Very weird game in the fact that Thomas Partey was on the bench, former Arsenal player, got the charges against him right now. He did come on
for obvious reasons.
And the thing is after the game, about 3 hours after the game, he was due to be in court in London. Which, I mean, he was there, but it's such a weird thing. As soon as he came on, you heard the chants in the stadium of "We know what you are, Thomas Partey. We know what you are." But yeah, they'll take the win. They'll move on from there, and hopefully next few games, now that they've got their feet wet back in the Champions League, go much better. But yeah, 2 wins on one in the weekend, one in the week. Can't complain.
Yeah, Thomas Frank has looked, he's looked pretty good with his setup and everything. Tottenham, so far, so good.
So far, out of every single match they've played,
except for the Brentford
they have 4 clean sheets. Only 1 goal against in the Premier League so far.
Yeah, that was, Brentford.
Brentford.
Why is it always Brentford?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we mentioned Graham Potter. He is on the hot seat for the Premier League, and so is Manchester United's Ruben Amorim. West Ham just looked terrible against Tottenham. I don't even know what his system is. It really does remind me of when he was at Chelsea, where he tries to experiment too much and nothing comes out of it. And as for Amorim, the stubbornness with that 3 at the back, he refuses to adapt. He's very, in his press conferences, this is my system. We're sticking with it no matter what. And there are reports that many players at Man United are very frustrated because they don't fit the system and are not happy with Amorim's refusal to adapt.
You got to wonder if they don't fit the system, is this a disconnect between the coach and the front and, your recruitment, right? Are they not listening to the coach to get the players that he needs for his system?
Yeah.
I obviously don't know but what we do know is that in his entire tenure with Man United, they have not won back-to-back games in the league.
Yeah.
It's the number 1 goal scorer for Man United this year so far is own goals.
Own goal. And how's that Benjamin Sesko signing looking like? Was 80 million euros or something for an unproven striker? Did not learn from Rasmus Højlund, who, by the way, scored in his debut with Napoli.
Yeah. It has. I don't know.
Players leave Man United and shine.
Well, and what does that tell you? I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, look at Tomine.
Yeah.
Right? It's...
Also, Onana with a clean sheet for his first game for Trabzonspor.
Yeah. I think Amorim needs to stop being stubborn. Call it the Ange Postecoglou dilemma. You need to adapt, and you need to learn to adapt, and you can't just cut and paste your system in every single situation. It doesn't work that way. But I will still say the number 1 problem at Manchester United is not the coach; it's that front office.
Yeah, with the Glazers being,
They
the
are
Glazers, and
not the team of, and that's not even 10 years ago. They're not the team of 15 years ago.
yeah, and INS's refusal to spend, although they did spend on Cesco, even though they were linked to Jokeris. Bemo hasn't looked good, as underwhelmed. Cunha is still underwhelming. It's just around the team, the recruitment, like the whole nature of that club is just not a good vibe.
No, it's
It
still a
hasn't been
club
for
that
years.
feels
And then for West Ham
it's
too,
neglected.
I don't know, sacking David Moyes in hindsight, not a good move for. And then Graham Potter, just out of his depth. Also, refusal to adapt, though he experiments too much. Players just look clueless most of the time. It's just pitiful to watch.
And look at David Moyes with Everton right now.
He's doing not too bad.
They're in sixth.
And
And
I don't know, like,
Jack Grealish was Player of the Month.
yeah, and he's revived his career
Yep.
under David Moyes in Everton, and both these managers, like, time's ticking for them.
I don't know how much more time you can give Amarin. Lost the Manchester Derby, the loss to Grimsby in Leagues Cup, although we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't know what the board is waiting for, because if you're bringing in players, how you're bringing in players for a different manager.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're doing. You've already told us this isn't your guy.
And by the way, Man United's only win, barely beating Burnley.
Yeah.
And 2 of the goals in the games were an own goal and a penalty.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what Man United are waiting for either, and it seems like there's been reports for quite some time that it would cost a lot to sack Amarim. And who'd realistically, who'd want to take the Man United job right now? I wouldn't. Even if I was a top level manager, I wouldn't.
Even if I was a player, it's not a club I'd want to go to.
Yeah, but Šeško, Mbemo, and Cunha, for some reason, decided to go there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
then
speaking
West
of
Ham
clubs
as well.
that defy expectation right now, what the hell's going on with Aston Villa? They have not scored a single goal this entire season.
Out of all the top 4 English leagues, they're the only team to not score a goal. Like, what the hell is going on there? And it looks like Emery might be on the hot seat too if this continues.
I think if it continues, I haven't heard really anything that Emery's in trouble yet. I know they've had 3 signings that they're still waiting to try and get into their lineup, but it is worrying. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've done decently defensively, but it's not like they're getting blown out of games. But
other than
they have
nothing Palace
going forward. Nothing. I don't understand it. Just because we looked at what Aston Villa was last year, that was a well-built team. They had a great manager. It was working.
The last few years.
Are they, like, in terms of like the swing, not like top to bottom right away, but is this the LA Galaxy story?
Maybe. By the way, they've also knocked out of AFL Cup by losing the penalties on Brentford. So that's another.
There's that too. That's
kick
right.
In the teeth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Villa, Emery has them playing, majority with the ball, but they're just not. They're toothless in attack, despite having some talent. Like, Morgan Rogers is a really good creator, but Ollie Watkins looks like he's on the decline. He's in his 30s anyway, I believe.
It's interesting that
I mean, they didn't really lose.
They didn't.
Anyone of significance?
No. I know Tottenham tried after what was it, Morgan Rogers, right?
Chelsea wanted him too, apparently.
And I know Tottenham still want him. Like, they're still looking at him for, I don't know if it's January or the summer. But you got to think that now if you're Morgan Rogers, you're starting to wonder, that might be a better idea, is to look elsewhere.
Yeah, and they didn't really lose anybody of significance. They did bring in Harvey Elliott to help the midfield. Brought in Jadon Sancho on loan.
Yeah,
who we all know about him. At least they have a good goalkeeper in Emi Martinez, who's moved to Man United, fell through. But yeah, good defensively, decent in the midfield, but attack has just been woeful.
Yeah. I throw that out there just because I don't know what the answer is, but I don't know what's going on with this team just yet. I mean, you would have expected them to at least be mid-table.
I thought they would sign a
relegation
striker
zone?
in the summer window. Like Nicholas Jackson was linked to them,
Yeah, I don't know
but
what it is.
nobody wanted Watkins.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why he's 29, apparently, going to turn 30, and looks like he's his decline has already started. And well, Aston Villa, I mean, they have to like at least score a goal in this game. But no disrespect to Sunderland, who look, fine to start the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they play Sunderland. So they should at least score a goal. Well, Sunderland are 2-1-1.
We'll have to wait and see. Leagues Cup, we talked about and we mentioned with Grimsby defeating Manchester United. Well, they've done it again. They've now taken out Sheffield Wednesday. Now, Sheffield Wednesday is
they're a mess of their own.
But they took them out. Grimsby Town was by far the better team, and they're now moving on to the fourth round of the EFL Cup.
Wednesday did not have a shot on target.
Yeah.
3 shots total, but none on target. Grimsby had 6 on target, 10 total.
Grimsby Town right now is, we talk about FA Cup runs and the majesty of some of those stories.
Yeah.
EFL can do the same as well, and Grimsby Town is a very, very good story.
Yeah, small town club. They are in League 2.
Yeah.
Like Grimsby is known for fish, apparently. Because apparently it's by the coast.
I think it's what they call it, like the shrimp man or something like that.
Something like that. It's just taking a look where it's
the Mariners.
Yeah, very close to the coast there.
You take a look. Their badge has like the trawler right on it, right?
Yeah, it's just seeing what part of England it is. Oh, it's like Middle East. Not like north where Newcastle is, but more south, like in the middle, like Middle Eastern part of England.
Yeah, I see it here right now. Basically, yeah, if you drew a line straight east off Leeds.
Seems like a
close to Hull.
Quite nice little town, I guess, if you're into like the sea and fish. But yeah, their football club is the pride of their town, and one to keep an eye on as the EFL Cup goes on. And I'm looking where Grimsby Town are.
They're 5th right now
in League 2. Okay, just a point behind Walsall and a point ahead of Chesterfield.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good on Grimsby. And one final thing here. Big news. Jose Mourinho seems to be closing in on his next job and a return to his homeland of Portugal. And it seems like he is closing in on the Benfica job. Yeah, and Ben Jacobs has pretty much confirmed that he's agreed. And he will place Bruno Lage, who was sacked after Benfica's lost to Carabag of all teams in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And should this be official, Mourinho will return to Stamford Bridge on September 30th to face Chelsea in the Champions League.
There you go. I think it's a very interesting signing because you think of what Mourinho did with Benfica when he was there the first time. He's not going to be able to replicate.
He was with Porto, not Benfica.
Oh, sorry, wrong. Oh, yeah, that's right, Porto. What am I saying? But in my mind, doesn't this feel like Mourinho's last club job?
It does to me.
It
felt like Fenerbahce felt like the last, but
it did. This is a bit of a revival, but it feels like
he was at Benfica very briefly in 2000.
This feels like this is the last job before, if he ever gets the opportunity, but it's the last job before taking over the Portuguese national team.
Yeah. So Benfica, big club, obviously in Portugal.
Yeah.
They are known for winning titles.
They're doing very good right now.
31-0 in the league. It's
Yeah.
just the Champions League. Just it's not
Yeah,
acceptable.
they're
Obviously,
undefeated in the league. They still have a game in hand around teams around them, so they're right fighting for the top right now. Obviously, Porto is running away with a 5-win winning streak to begin the season, but Benfica, every bit a part of it. And again, it's the big three you're always thinking about:
yeah,
Porto, Benfica,
they're
Sporting.
like they're a big club and they have big club expectations.
They do.
So sacking Lange and then bringing in Mourinho shows we want more.
It does. But in recent years, Karabag has been disruptors in European football.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting
We'll see how Mourinho. I'm sure Mourinho will do fine there. Maybe
Yeah.
lead them to another league title. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how he approaches Chelsea.
Yeah.
In a few weeks.
Absolutely.
But I know as a Chelsea fan, I'm glad he's found another big job and hope he does well at Benfica. And I hope he gets an ovation when he returns to Stamford Bridge. Because he will always be one of us. No matter
That's
what.
fair. That's fair.
So that'll conclude this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. I'm not too sure. I think we might record evenings next week because after, I'm quite busy after Wednesday. So I would assume Friday evening, Friday afternoon will be our next show. A little different, but you got to do what you got to do. So follow me on Twitter, Joshua00, Nathan and Dirk, podcast at Terminal City FC. We're on Instagram and Blue Sky as well. Terminal City FC is on Instagram. Follow me and Nathan on Blue Sky as well. And again, if you're a business, if you know someone with a business, be nice to talk to you because we're still looking for a sponsor. And that'd be great if you can help us support that show and we'll support your business as well. It's a good time to be a footy fan here in Vancouver. And, more eyes on the Whitecaps, more eyes on Canada. Sport is growing. So check out all our writing for Area 51 Sports Network. We got some Seattle Seahawks coverage, which I'm very pleased about. Jaden Teja has joined the team to write about the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, we got Vancouver Canucks coverage with training camp beginning, I believe, tomorrow. And of course, all things soccer coverage. Whitecaps, Rise, Canada, as the games go on. So that'll conclude this week's episode. Peace out.
Take care.